think you can win on talent alone? Gentlemen, you don't have enough talent to win on talent alone.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's talk about skill sets. A lot of people in the community have been talking about, skill sets being king. Everybody needs skill sets, and I want to be the first one to say that I agree. I think skill sets are super important. I think that they are incredibly important. I think they're vital. There's no doubt that they are 100% vital. But as with everything I do, there is nuance. There is nuance to this conversation. And that's why I saw this clip yesterday, and, I showed my wife, and, it really hit the nail home. You are not good enough to make it on skill and skill alone. And I thought that those statements were just resounding, right? Because he's obviously, it's just a movie, Miracle, talking about the United States versus Soviet Union, and you have these players that are at the pinnacle of their careers, right? They are where they're supposedly, they are representing the United States in the game of hockey, and these guys are the best hand-picked guys from across the United States of America. And they are playing at that professional level. Like I said, they're the cream of the crop. And in that clip, you saw that they barely beat, I think it was the Swedes. They barely beat this country. And so, the coach, and he's obviously going through some incentive training with them. And I thought it was very, very eye-opening. You are not good enough to win on skill and skill alone. And he's saying this to professionals, to people who in everyday life can walk into anywhere they go and not see anybody better than them. Do those people exist? Yes, but they're so small and few and far in between. They probably are not going to run into those people in everyday life ever, because that's how amazing they are at that skill set. But it's not good enough. Why is it not good enough? It's not just enough to have the skills. They need the hard work. They need the teamwork. They need the work ethic, right? There's so many other things that come and that are involved in being successful. And this carries over to skill set. Yeah, skill sets are important, but what too many people on the internet think is that these skill sets are just simply, I watched a YouTube video on how to put on a tourniquet, therefore, I gained some skill sets, or I took a CPR course, therefore I gained some first aid CPR skill sets, or I watched somebody dress out a deer a couple times on YouTube, therefore I have these skill sets, or I watched this homesteading channel, or I watched that prepper channel that deals with animal husbandry, or deals with gardening, or deals with tactics, therefore I have these skill sets. I watched a video on how to mess with a radio, therefore I have a skill set. That type of thinking is what's going to get you killed. It is. That type of thing is what's going to get you killed. It's not enough just to have basic building blocks of skill sets. And as we saw from real life, it's not enough to have professional skill sets if you don't have the work ethic, if you don't have the gear, if you don't have the equipment, if you don't have the team, if you don't have every other thing that's involved with it, right? I'll use myself as an example. You guys know I served in the military over 13 years. Since I was 18 years old, professionally carried a firearm. Since I've been 18 years old. I was a flight medic, search and rescue corpsman, so I did search and rescue in the military. I feel very confident with weapons and tactics. I feel very confident with emergency medicine. I feel very confident around trauma bag. I feel very confident in an austere environment where things are going boom and people are hurt. I feel very confident in my abilities. With that being said, I know that there are people that are way better than me when it comes to weapons, way better to me when it comes to emergency medicine. There's not a doubt in my mind. I've had to maintain proficiency with, weapon qualifications since I was 18 years old. And I feel very confident with the firearm, but I'm no Travis Haley. And I will never be a Travis Haley. I can accept that. Same thing with emergency medicine. Very rarely do I walk into a room or do I meet somebody that I feel can run circles around me with a trauma bag. Very rarely does that happen. But do those people exist out there? They sure do. But very rarely do I come in contact with those people that I feel can do that. With that being said, is it just enough to have that skill set? No. I need gear to be effective, right? And when you're in those environments, having a strong fire team, it's super important, especially when we're talking about austere environments where you have somebody that you're trying to get off the X, right? So with all these things being real life issues, right? It's not just enough to have the skill sets. And by skill sets, I mean professionally, take these two skill sets for me, I have honed over a whole career. Since I was 18 years old, I've honed these skill sets. And I have actually not just theorized about these skill sets, but I've actually applied them in real life applications. I know a way around a trauma bag when shit's going down because I've done it. But it's not enough. It's not enough. From somebody who's been there, done that, I'm telling you, it's not enough. It's not enough just to have a rudimentary skill set or even a professional skill set. It's not enough. Especially when you're talking about a grid down situation where you don't have infrastructure to depend on and all these other nuanced applications that are super important, it's not enough. Is it good to have though? Yes, it absolutely is good to have. But don't think that you're just going to make it off your skill set and your skill set alone. It's foolish thinking. It's foolish thinking. It's important to survive the encounter, whatever that encounter may be. That should be your number one, that should be your number one goal, to survive the encounter. But to think that you're going to take some rudimentary or even professional skill sets and just be 100% accepted into a mutual assistance group, a MAG, or think that your preparedness posture is somehow going to be elevated to the point of being able to survive indefinitely just based upon the fact that you know how to do CPR and first aid, know how to carry a gun, and have a garden. It's not enough, man. It's not. And I'm saying this as humbly as I possibly can because I know for a shadow of a doubt I have many skill sets I'm sure people would be very interested in not only knowing but having somebody on their team that has those skill sets, right? But even with that being said, I am under no illusion that is what's going to carry me through. Absolutely not. There's not a shadow of my doubt. There's no thought in my mind that thinks, you know what, you have enough skill set or you're just gonna make it. There's so much more that's required. There's so much more of a mentality that's required. There's so much more when it comes to having good equipment and gear and teamwork and leadership. There's so much more of that is required to make this stuff work. Now, that's not to dissuade you guys from, I want you guys to go out there and get the skill sets, and I want you to go out there and practice and hone these skill sets. But to think that just because you watched a video or you have a very basic understanding of first aid or medical or firearms tactics, that's somehow just going to be enough, because it's not, right? I have harvested animals for a long time, and I think that I'm very decent at it. Am I a professional butcher? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Do I think that that's an important skill set to have? I absolutely do. Is it something that I practice regularly? Yes. 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 All the time. Weekly. All the time. I practice those skill sets. Am I professional? No. Can I get the job done? Absolutely. Do I get the job done? Absolutely. Is that a great skill set to have? Absolutely. Is that what's going to carry me on to longevity forever? No. No, it's not. So look at this from a very nuanced perspective. Yes, skill sets are important. You need skill sets. They're vital to have. But you shouldn't be depending on them and thinking that just because you have skill sets that everything's just magically going to be okay. That should be the very basic building block of what it is to be a prepper. And I know I did a video on, theorizing versus practicality, being a practitioner. And the most important thing that you have to realize when it comes to that is most people that are watching preparedness YouTube, most people that are influencers on preparedness YouTube are at the theorizing stage. They haven't even made it to the practitioner portion of what it is to be prepared. They're leading others, but they're not there at that practitioner stage. And what you're going to realize is the very beginning building blocks of being a practitioner is actually utilizing those skill sets on the daily. Surprise, surprise, guys. That's what it is. And that's what it comes down to. And that's what people fail to realize. The building blocks of what it is to be a practitioner are those skill sets that we all deem as super important, because they are. But too many people, they're in that theorizing stage. They're theorizing about what they think is important. They haven't even put feet and hands to work yet. Skill sets are vital. They're super important. They are the building blocks of being a practitioner. And as you grow as a practitioner, mental fortitude, mentality, leadership, teamwork, all these things come into play. But until you can even get there, those life skills have to be the building blocks of what it is to be a practitioner. That's what it comes down to, it, guys. So I encourage you guys, yes, get skill sets, learn them, master them, continue to utilize them every day, and grow. Grow as a person, grow as a prepper, grow as a father, husband. All these things, they all matter, and they're all connected. So I hope that was useful for you guys. If you guys disagree with me, leave me a thumbs down. Let me know in the comment section below. I'm curious, what are your guys' thoughts on this? Do you feel like most preppers do have those vital skill sets that they need? Do you feel like most preppers are practitioners, or do you feel like most of them are still in the theorizing stages? What do you think about these skill sets as far as, where do you find yourself on the line? Do you have a basic understanding, mild understanding? Would you consider you guys to be a professional expert? Would you guys consider you guys to be subject matter experts? Would you consider you guys to be the best in the world at whatever skill set that you have? I'm curious to know what your guys' thoughts are. Hope you guys liked the video. We look forward to interacting with you guys in the comment section below. And as always, guys, long live the Republic.